We've all seen the announcements of the VK7201K, the new tier 10 German heavy tank in World of Tanks Blitz, but there's more to come in update 5.5, because there will be a lot of changes to the tech tree. In this video we are going to take a look at some of the nerfs and buffs in update 5.5. Yes, welcome back ladies and gentlemen, tankers of Blitz Universe, to the channel. My name is martindogger, as you will all probably know, and I decided to have a quick look at I was going to have a quick look at all of the tech tree changes in the open test for 5.5, but when I wanted to go into the Russian, the British, the Japanese, the Chinese and the French line, the open test was already closed. So that was a bit unfortunate, but I did manage to get hold of the most important statistics in terms of changes for the tanks from tier 1 up to 6. Because update 5.5 will see a lot of changes to the tanks. A lot of tanks will be moved around, pushed around, shoved around. Some of them will be gone forever. Some of them will be turned into collectibles. And some of the tanks will also see different tiers. For example, the German tech tree, it loses the Leichttraktor, the LOL tractor, that epic tier 1 tank. It's gone. It will be gone. It will be replaced by the Panzer II. And we all know that the Panzer II, in its own right, at tier 2, with that autoloader, that's a really strong machine. If you would place that straight away in tier 1, that would be a massacre for new players. So they've changed the tank, they have nerfed it down, and you've seen the statistics already, at least the biggest ones, the ones that really matter. And I decided to go up the tech tree. At tier 2 you then see the Panzer 35T, at tier 3 you get the Panzer 3, and at tier 4 the line begins to divert. You get the Hetzer, or this one the Panzer 4D. And if you then take a quick look, and also a good look at those statistics, you will already notice, or you might notice and start thinking, right Martin, what have you missed? I'm seeing something about the ammo, I'm seeing rounds per minute, I see penetration numbers and then damage numbers, but you've only shown me one penetration number and one damage number. What's that? I've noticed that at tiers 1 and 2, the tanks only get one shell, one primary ammunition shell. There's no APCR or no HE. At tier 3, the premium ammo gets added, and at tier 4 tanks also get HE. And when they get to tier 5, they are fully maxed out in that regard, all possibilities in terms of ammo. They also have the earlier introduced changes in terms of equipment, provisions, consumables, that still stands. So in that regard, new players will have it. It becomes easier to understand the game. And I don't like what Wargaming have done in terms of changing the tech trees. I really don't. I think it would be better to have more tanks to choose from at tier 2 or 3. But simplifying the tech tree and also simplifying what you can do with the tank makes it easier. And Wargaming think, and I mean, they're not stupid in Minsk, they really aren't. They have thought this through, and they will be changing a lot of things, and they know, probably from all the surveys they have been doing, and from the feedback they've been gathering from videos and from the community contributors, they have made up a plan that would make it easier for new players to understand, and for a lot of new players to stay in the game, rather than 1 in 5 dropping out after the first real life battle. Because the playing field in the lower tiers will change dramatically. There are a few tanks that have been moved down a tier, which are most of the tier 2 tanks, some of the tier 3 tanks as well. The M7 is moved from tier 5 to tier 4. You can see the Chaffee there at tier 6. That one has been changed as well. And I didn't really look at a lot of the tier 6 tanks. I looked at a few, and most of them were as they are now. Except for the Chaffee, but I didn't get to check that one. It's a bit unfortunate, but I will get to that later if a bit 5.5 hits and drops, and then we will do a full review. Well, this one, for example, the M4 Sherman at tier 5, you've just seen stats, it now swaps to the tier 1 Heavy. That one has been buffed in terms of armor. And it has been nerfed in terms of the gun. But you can see that it builds up. The game is building up towards tier 6, where tier 6 is as it is now. And before, it's easier. Guns do less damage. I've noticed that the Panzer IV-D and the Hetzer do less damage. The Hetzer loses the derp, the Panzer IV loses the derp gun as well. So gone are the days of blasting enemies with a big HE shell. And from the perspective of the veteran players, that's a sorry state of things. It's really annoying. I don't hate that decision. I've never played the Hetzer with the derp. I didn't really like it. But from the perspective of a new player, it's a good one, because you're thinking, right, I can poke out, that's a Panzer IV, it has a very stubby gun barrel, I might be able just to go poke out and shoot him, and then you get whacked with a big HE shell. So in that regard, I can really understand what Wargaming want to do, and I think that decision is actually a pretty good one. In the meantime, we're still looking through some of the bits of the German tech tree, as you can see here. You can also see the collectible tanks. Gone are the days of DW2 platoons marauding around in lower tiers and just seal clubbing to a heart's content, padding your win rates and generally scaring new players. Because these tanks will have come collectibles, which means if you have them in your garage now, you will keep them. And you can make a truckload of gold with all the tanks if they become collectibles and you sell them. Do note, if you sell one of these, they're probably gone forever, except for a few tanks that will be in the crates, in the containers you can open on a daily basis. But most of the collectible tanks, if you sell them, they will be gone. They might become for sale again, but I wouldn't count on that. So, a summary of update 5.5 in total. The tiers 1 and 2 get only primary ammo, and tier 3 adds premium ammo, and then tier 4 gets HE as well. The alpha damage per shot is changed for lower tier tanks as well, and lines began to divert at tiers 4. In tier 5 you have a few more options, and tier 6 basically the same as it is now. Is that a good thing? Yes, I think it is a good thing, a good move from Wargaming. And especially for new players, but we get some free gold as well if you are a veteran player. So that's to sugarcoat things a bit, but a clever move as well. Some of the seal clubbing favorites are nerfed. The Hetzer, the Stuk, the Panzer IV lose the 10.5 house, and the A20 loses the autoloader gun as well. The DW2 becomes a collectible, and several tanks are moved to other tiers and adjusted accordingly. A lot of tanks are dropped a few tiers. Most of the tanks are dropped a tier, and as said, the M7 goes to tier 4 and the Chaffee goes to tier 6. Which means you now have two tier 6s to choose from, the T37 or the Chaffee. Not sure if that's really good. The Chaffee was a goodish tank for tier 5, but yeah, they've tested this, they've been testing it. They've played loads of battles against other Wargaming employees, the guys from Blitz, and I think they know what they are doing. But there's also a bit of a catch really to this whole thing. If tanks become collectibles, those statistics can be adjusted if it's needed for game balance. The Gravedigger we are all trying to get, or the Scavenger, those tanks, they can be nerfed because they're not premium tanks, they are collectibles. Stats can be adjusted accordingly if the need be. And I haven't checked it on 5.5 myself, but the T1E6, that American autoloader at tier 2, that only has 2 shells in the clip now. So if 5.5 goes live with those changes to the T1E6 and that one remains a premium, it's going to be the first premium tank ever in World of Tanks Blitz to be nerfed officially. And that in a way is a good thing? Dare I say that? Yeah, I tend to say that. That in a way is a good thing. Because we all know that the Helsing and the Dracula, they are really overpowered. They've broken the balance in tiers 7 mostly, and tier 6 as well, and sometimes in tier 8 too. But that also means that basically any heavy tank, any premium tank is then at the risk of being nerfed. And Wargaming have always been able to nerf tanks, make no mistake about it. But they've never done so. And they've never done so because they knew it would cause a shitstorm. If they would nerf tanks, it would cause a shitstorm on their part. And nobody would want to see their premium tanks nerfed. But if you look at the tanks, when you buy them, you don't buy the tank itself, you buy the right to drive a digital representation of the tank. And that means that Wargaming have always been able to nerf the tanks, and we've all signed for it by signing the end users license agreement. But all in all, it's an annoying thing to face really, and to know that it's possible for Wargaming to nerf those tanks. However, and I want to end positive, here. If that's going to be the main theme of update 5.5, Wargaming will be able to nerf the premium tanks, and they're going to do so, then I think it's a sorry thing to have that as the main theme. Wargaming have looked at 5.1 open test. The number of tanks that were to be removed from the tech tree, that was a lot bigger. I think the first diversions, the first changes, the first possibilities to choose in 5.1 in the open test only came at tier 5 or maybe even 6. I think the Firefly was completely removed. There were some more tanks that were removed. The Firefly is still a tech tree tank. You can still drive it. In that regard, they have listened to the feedback. They have taken that feedback on board. Of course they could have taken more feedback on board. They haven't already, is what I think they will. I hope they will take more of the feedback we've given them in Minsk and given them in a Tank Fest. I hope they will do more about that. They are planning to add tutorials, mini videos in the game to help players understand what they are doing. But that takes some more time, and they want to make the game attractive for new players right now. And the changes in tech tree will probably do that, because it is easier to take hold of the game, to understand what you are doing, to make choices with regards to the tanks you want to play, rather than just getting hammered by people who have spent way too much time in lower tiers and are still playing tier 4 what it should be already in tiers 5, 6, 7 and up. And of course there will still be seal clubbers, there will still be people who go down to tiers 1 and 2 and play those tanks way too long. But this will make things a lot better, and I really think it will be a lot better for new players, because it's easy to choose, and Wargaming should be doing videos and they should do a lot more, and they have that planned. But this is a first big step towards making the game more attractive for new players, and I don't think they will rush up the tiers, as a lot of people think they will do. I don't think there will be loads of more noobs in tier 10 than there are now. It's still possible to go up to tier 10 fairly quickly. And the experience pools needed to get the higher tier tanks or get up the lines, that is also going to change. Not sure how it will stack up, because my account was completely filled. Obviously I couldn't see what the modules needed in terms of XP, what tanks completely needed in terms of XP, but that will be changed accordingly as well. And now you also have people who just go up one line, who've seen videos from me or Skate or Mizi or Bushka, and they've seen a Leopard 1 or a Foch 155 or the Grill or the Death Star, and they think, right, I want to get the Death Star, I want to get it now, I'm going there as quickly as possible. Look at that mastery from blah blah blah, insert any YouTube player there. Look at the mastery from the Leopard 1. That tank is OP. That's a brilliant tank. I want to have that one. Now people have a more level playing field, especially with the changes in terms of matchmaking as well. New players don't know how to use APCR, they don't know how to use HE. So if you have everybody with just AP at tiers 1 and 2, people will have the same possibilities of doing damage. Of course they have to learn how to shoot and aim for weak spots, etc. But that's just getting to know the game, and having less options I think is a really good move by Wargaming in that regard. And yes, they have been sugarcoating it by giving us free gold from collectible tanks. It's a truckload of gold you can make from that in total. 16.4k gold in total if you earn all the tier 2 to 4 premiums that turn into collectibles. And a grand total of 28,750 gold if you earn all the tech 3 tanks that turn into collectibles and all those premium tanks. So my advice would be to just buy garage slots or sell tanks that remain in the tech 3 anyway. Take a look at the video, pause it, get tanks that turn into collectibles, get them into your garage. Don't equip them, don't even play them, there's no need for that. But do get them and you will be able to stack up some free gold and then use that for premium time or training crews or whatever. So that's it for today. My take on Update 5.5 and a quick overview of some of the nerfs to the tech tree and of course the American and German tanks. Full review will come up and full preview as well when we get the patch notes on the update 5.5 proper. My name is Martindogger, signing off for now. Cheers, happy tanking, and I'll catch you all on the next one.